my friend Dr. Deshpande, Dr. Shivgankar, Dr. and Mrs. Indrasen, Shiban Ganju, he is here somewhere, Shiv Khemka, naturally, Sanjay, Ranjani, my friends, social entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a special privilege to be here with you. Sanjay is quite a guy. I want him to calm down a little bit. But I love him. He's super hyper about everything. He gets after something and he just won't leave it. So my office keeps telling me, who is this guy? But I think Sanjay has been able to put together a very good program. Sanjay, my compliments to you. And my request would be, relax a little bit. Everything will work out. Okay, don't worry about it. You have a good team, you have a lot of support, and I think you have been able to put together a galaxy of people here. That itself is a great accomplishment. My compliments. We met here last year, and I'm delighted that we've been able to meet again this year. But I hope that this year we talk a little bit about how we begin to institutionalize this effort. How do we scale? How do we look at next 3 years? It is good to have once a year conference, or maybe once every quarter a conference. But how do we measure ourselves at the end of the day? So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these issues. First, I want to begin by saying that social entrepreneurship is definitely getting a lot of attention in India. It's on everyone's agenda. Maybe it is just conversation, but people are beginning to realize that without entrepreneurs, we cannot build the kind of jobs that we need in this country. Social entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship is definitely on national agenda. As you know, in this country, we have 550 million young below age of 25. And as a result, we need to create 15 million new jobs every year, year after year. We all know that these jobs are not going to come from government. We also know that these jobs cannot come from just IT. And if we don't have large number of entrepreneurs, we won't be able to create these kinds of jobs. And these jobs will have to come from education, health, agriculture, and a lot of the social sector. Everyone realizes that technology is going to play an important role going forward in improving productivity, efficiency, reducing cost, and all that. We had a discussion a few days ago on food security. We do realize that in this country we have largest number of hungry in the world. We have 220 million hungry people. And at the same time, we have lots of food. We need about close to 20 million metric ton to feed them, and we have close to 40 million metric ton in storage. So we can't seem to connect. And that's where technology is going to be required. That's where entrepreneurship is going to be required. This is just one example. 12th plan, which has just been documented, talks about the emphasis on education and health. I'm told that roughly 25% of the national resources will go in these two sectors, which is huge. I mean, if you look at the 8th plan, 7th plan, 9th plan, and you compare that and you say, my God, 25% of national resources on just these two, that shows social concern. And as a result, you will find more and more social entrepreneurs emerging in this country. At the National Innovation Council, we have been focused on entrepreneurship, innovations. As you know, we have a national council, state-level councils, sectorial councils. And the key area of interest to you all is really the fund that we are working on. Unfortunately, the fund got delayed because of all the bureaucratic bottlenecks in the country. Secretaries got transferred, some other new fellow came in. Hopefully that fund would be launched by end of March this year. It is a 5,000 crore fund with initial capital of 500 crore. Government has made a commitment for 100, and we have lined up all other banks and others, so we have the money lined up. And this fund would be critical to people like you who are looking for seed capital, venture capital. We already have almost 220 deals in the pipeline that we are evaluating, which is huge. I just learned it this morning. I thought we had 70, 80 deals. What it means is that there are a lot of people thinking of these things and looking for capital to scale. I must say that whenever I travel around, I find a lot more entrepreneurial activities going on in second and third tier cities than in Delhi. Delhi talks about entrepreneurship, but real entrepreneurship is going on in Kolhapur, Bhuj, Jaipur, Kochi. These are the 4 places I visited in last couple of months. And in all of these towns, you will see a lot of construction, a lot of entrepreneurs working on software, hardware, education, health, agriculture. Things are really happening at that level. And at some point in time, we will have to think about reaching out to second and third level cities and not just focus on Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, and major metros. This fund that I talked about would give you some support in the beginning, and we are looking to you to submit some ideas. I believe in the afternoon, several of my colleagues will join you. This include Arun Maira, member of the Planning Commission, Amit Agarwal, my sort of office head, who is the Officer on Special Duty, OSD, in our team. Then Saurabh Srivatsava, Vikram Gandhi, both of these help us on the Innovation Fund. Samir Mitra, who has been working with us on clusters, as well as what we call Tod Fod Jod centers in schools. And you'll get to interact with some of my colleagues. You also have some of my young colleagues here, Vikas and Sukman and others. So any help we can give you, you can count on our support. I was planning to spend the entire day here. I had promised Sanjay, and Sanjay has been sort of calling regularly to make sure that I will be here. Unfortunately, I got to be in Jaipur. So my apology, Sanjay, publicly. I have to sneak out quickly, but I must assure you that a lot of my colleagues are here. We will take your message forward. We will work with you. We will make sure that your word is heard, and we'll try to work together with you to take this agenda forward. We are working on entrepreneurship policy for the government. I've been telling our colleagues in the government that in this country it takes too long to start a company. And it is even more difficult and longer to close a company. So I'm saying to everybody, why can't we redo this? And just make sure that at least the small companies, 5, 10, 20 people, you can start in 2 days and you can close in a week. This is a brand new idea for the government. Government cannot think of closing a company that quickly. So we do need new entrepreneurship policy. I think after a year of discussions at various levels with academicians, with government people, with sort of ministers and others, there is a great deal of sensitivity to the fact that without entrepreneurs, we cannot create jobs. And to create entrepreneurs, we have to make it easier for them to operate. We have been working with Ministry of MSME. This is small scale industry. We have a very good new secretary there. And we hope that in collaboration with him, in the next 12 months, we can push this new policy. But then in government, there are lots of people looking at these kinds of policy inputs. If you have any input on the policy, this would be a good forum to give us your ideas. Sukhman is here, who has been working on entrepreneurship policy for us. So just talk to Sukhman, get your input, and we'll try to consolidate a lot of those ideas. I am very bullish on India. I am very bullish because I know lots of things are going on. Just in what we are doing, there is so much excitement, but somehow this excitement doesn't get percolated down. Partly, I think our media is basically focused on cricket, Bollywood, and gossip. Very little developmental work gets media attention. If you read Indian media, you feel there isn't anything going on in this country. You cannot have a country of 1.2 billion and not have a lot of developmental activities. To once again give you an idea of what we are doing in our group, we are building public information infrastructure to democratize information, which I believe would be very critical to all of you. So we are creating 2 major networks, one already built called National Knowledge Network to connect 1,500 nodes with 40 gigabit bandwidth, to connect all our universities, all our R&D labs, major parts of our libraries, ultimately our courts and all that. This network is going to cost us about 10,000 crores. 1,100 nodes are already built. But we really don't know how to use this network effectively yet. Network is connected to Europe, Asia Pacific. We are working on final connectivity to US so we can sort of interact with like-minded people in other parts of the world, especially professors and scientists. Then we are building a network to connect all of the 250,000 panchayats with optical fiber and provide broadband. This is going to cost us about 30,000 crores. We have already 60 trials underway, built, and our plan is to make sure that by end of December 2013, we have all of the 250,000 connected. I think there is some competition here. Okay. All of the 250,000 would be connected to optical fiber. When I say 250, it may be 210. But it's pretty good. With these 2 networks, we will have the connectivity. I keep saying that now we are a country of a connected billion. The key challenge is to take this connectivity forward and then begin to have impact on new business models, new delivery systems to transform education, governance, health, agriculture, and everything else. Along with these 2 networks, we are building platforms. Nandan is building the UID platform. Dr. Kasturirangan is building a GIS platform. Then we have data centers, cybersecurity, applications for income tax, driver's license, food security, NREGA, computerization of courts, police, prisons. All of that work is going on. I'm happy to say that we have some total 10,000 software people working on a lot of this. But it takes huge amount of inertia in the government to collaborate. We are good at sort of vertical silos. But when you begin to say that we want to integrate police, prison, CBI, and courts together, big problem. People just don't know how to collaborate well. So we wind up sort of creating silos and then spend a lot of time in linking these. I'm confident that in next 24 months, you will have whole different infrastructure in the country to work very differently with new technology and new platforms. And that's where I think social entrepreneurs can play an important role. I tell my young colleagues that our job is to deliver this platform to you. So you in turn can come up with new applications and new solutions that some of us don't even know how to do. We can't even think about how you will use this platform. Just to give you an idea, I was talking to Montech a few weeks ago, and we said, look, you have this 12th plan, which is in 3 big volumes. Who really reads it? Can we really translate this 12th plan for people? So average citizen can understand what this plan is. Even I don't understand all of it. And through osmosis, because my office is next to Montech, I should learn more, but it's difficult. So now we have put together a young team with Vikas and others to really take the core of this 12th plan and put it on social media, on YouTube and Twitter and all the other available tools, so that young people can begin to understand what this 12th plan is and how they can participate and what they can do. Of course, there'll be a lot of confusion for next few years. But the process would give you a whole different way of looking at things. It is possible to do all of these things because there is going to be connectivity, because there will be new tools, because terminal devices are becoming less and less expensive, because we believe large number of middle class is already connected and they drive opinion. Today, social media is driving traditional media. And I think we can't just ignore. And government is just not used to responding to these kinds of demands. So we are learning, but it takes time for all of us to respond to new tools and new technology. I am bullish